When you think of diamonds, you probably think of love, engagement rings, and promises that last forever. But what if almost everything you believe about diamonds, their rarity, their value, and their connection to romance, was invented by a single powerful cartel? For decades, one company controlled 90% of the world's diamonds. They didn't just sell diamonds, they manipulated their supply, their prices, and even the culture surrounding them. Diamonds weren't rare, the cartel made them seem rare. They invented modern engagement culture, funded geopolitical operations, and shaped economies in Africa and beyond. This is the story of De Beers, the diamond monopoly that controlled wars, love, and nations. The birth of a monopoly. De Beers was founded in 1888 by Cecil Rhodes, a British businessman with a vision. Rhodes consolidated several small diamond mines in South Africa, creating a single entity that controlled the majority of production. By the early 20th century, De Beers owned almost all the diamond mines in South Africa, but controlling the mines was only the beginning. Rhodes's goal was bigger. He wanted to control the global supply and demand for diamonds, and through it, control the world. Through careful acquisitions, strategic partnerships, and ruthless tactics, De Beers began to corner the market. They bought rival mines, sometimes bankrupting competitors, sometimes quietly negotiating to eliminate competition. By the 1922nd, De Beers had established a virtual monopoly. From their headquarters in London and offices around the world, they dictated how diamonds would be sold, to whom, and at what price, creating the illusion of rarity. The genius of De Beers was not just owning diamonds, it was controlling perception. Diamonds are not inherently rare. Millions of carats exist in Africa, Russia, and other parts of the world. But De Beers made them seem rare by controlling supply. They created a central organization called the Central Selling Organization, CSO, which bought diamonds from mines worldwide and released them to the market in carefully measured quantities. By controlling how many diamonds entered the market, De Beers could keep prices high. If there were too many diamonds, they simply stored them in vaults. If prices dipped, they bought up diamonds to reduce supply. This created the illusion that diamonds were precious, rare, and indispensable, when in reality, the cartel was manufacturing scarcity. The diamond and romance connection. You might think the diamond engagement ring is a timeless tradition, passed down for centuries. In reality, it's a 20th century invention. In the 1930 seconds, De Beers launched a marketing campaign that would change the way the world thought about love. The slogan, "A diamond is forever." The campaign was brilliant. It suggested that diamonds were not just rare and valuable, they were essential symbols of love. By tying diamonds to romance, De Beers created cultural demand. Suddenly, people weren't just buying a diamond, they were buying a piece of eternity, a symbol of devotion that they couldn't live without. Marriage proposals, once intimate and private, became stages for diamond rings, and the more expensive the diamond, the stronger the perceived love. The campaign was so effective that even today, engagement rings are seen as incomplete without a diamond, influencing governments and economies. De Beers' power wasn't limited to the jewelry market. Their influence reached governments, economies, and even wars. In South Africa, De Beers' dominance of the diamond industry gave them leverage over the government. Mining taxes, labor regulations, and trade policies were influenced by the cartel. Their operations shaped the economy and created dependencies that persisted for decades. Elsewhere in Africa, De Beers used diamond wealth to influence nations like Botswana and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. They invested in infrastructure, controlled mining concessions, and sometimes played governments against one another to maintain a monopoly. De Beers even funded military and political operations behind the scenes. Diamonds became a tool of power, a currency not just for love but for geopolitical influence. Diamonds and conflict. The darker side of diamond control came in the form of conflict diamonds, or diamonds used to finance wars and political oppression. While De Beers promoted diamonds as symbols of love in Europe and America, in Africa, diamonds fueled violence. Rebel groups in the Congo, Angola, and Sierra Leone financed their operations with diamond sales. While De Beers publicly denounced conflict diamonds later on, the cartel's dominance of supply made it impossible to separate legitimate trade from violence. Even today, the legacy of diamond-fueled conflicts remains. Diamonds have been weapons, bribes, and tools of power, shaping the political landscape of entire nations. The secret behind pricing and control. De Beers' monopoly relied on meticulous control of pricing. The cartel maintained a price list, setting the value for every carat and clarity of diamond. This list was enforced worldwide. Retailers, jewelers, and auction houses were required to adhere to De Beers' pricing rules, under penalty of losing access to supply. This is why diamonds have historically maintained high prices even during economic recessions. When other luxury goods declined, diamonds remained stable because De Beers controlled supply and demand. The cartel also monitored the market for any unsanctioned diamonds. Smuggling, independent sales, or new mines had to be neutralized, either bought out or blocked from market access. The scale of control was staggering. For decades, De Beers essentially dictated the global diamond economy, influencing prices and availability in ways few other companies in history have ever matched. The cultural engineering of love. De Beers didn't just sell diamonds, they sold desire. They transformed a simple mineral into the most recognized symbol of love worldwide. Movies, advertisements, and magazine campaigns reinforced the message. A diamond is proof of commitment. A diamond is the ultimate gift. Without one, love is incomplete. This cultural engineering was deliberate. De Beers didn't rely solely on scarcity, they relied on psychology. By embedding diamonds into the ritual of courtship, they ensured that every new generation would perpetuate demand. Even today, millions of couples worldwide purchase diamonds, often unaware that the tradition itself was engineered by a corporation seeking control over both markets and minds. Botswana, a unique case. One of De Beers' most interesting relationships was with Botswana. Unlike many African nations, Botswana benefited from diamond wealth. In the 1960s, when Botswana gained independence, De Beers partnered with the government to develop mining operations. Unlike in other countries where exploitation was rampant, Botswana used diamond revenue to fund education, infrastructure, and economic growth. This partnership showed that De Beers' power could be wielded responsibly, though only selectively. In other regions, the cartel maintained dominance by suppressing local industries and controlling labor. Botswana's success story became a blueprint for how resource wealth, combined with corporate strategy, could lift a nation. But it was the exception, not the rule. Decline of the monopoly. De Beers' near-total control began to erode in the late 20th century. New mines in Russia, Canada, and Australia challenged the cartel's dominance. Legal battles in the United States forced De Beers to open its supply lines to competitors. By the 2000s, De Beers no longer controlled 90% of the world's diamonds, but the legacy of monopoly and cultural engineering remains. The image of the diamond as rare, precious, and essential to love still drives billions of dollars in sales every year. Even as markets open, De Beers' influence lingers in pricing strategies, marketing psychology, and the global diamond culture. The legacy of control. De Beers' story is not just about diamonds, it's about the intersection of business, culture, and geopolitics. They taught the world how to manufacture desire. They turned a mineral into a symbol of eternity. They shaped economies, influenced governments, and fueled conflicts. They proved that control over supply and perception could create unprecedented power. Diamonds are forever not just because of their chemical structure, but because of the system built around them. A system designed to control markets, minds, and nations. Conclusion. Every engagement ring, every jewelry store, every forever diamond tells the story of a cartel that redefined value and desire. De Beers didn't just sell diamonds, they engineered an empire. They controlled supply, manipulated prices, invented culture, and influenced nations. The love stories we cherish today carry the shadow of a monopoly that once dominated the globe. Next time you see a diamond, remember, it isn't just a stone. It's a symbol of power, control, and a carefully constructed illusion. An illusion that shaped wars, governments, and even the way the world falls in love. Diamonds aren't rare. The desire for them was,